All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more solo leveling Ragnarok. Let's get started with chapter 30, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here. Welcome back to more solo leveling Ragnarok. In the last episode, in the last chapter that we got, Suho basically defeats the final boss, defeats the dungeon boss of this pyramid that Amut is trapped in. And as a contingency to ensure that Amut is incapable of being free from this place, Tarnok and the mage made it so that if the anchors weren't anchored into the dungeon, then they would make their way to Amut to kill him, because they would rather him be dead than him be alive if he somehow found his way out of a dungeon. And Suho, showing his resolve and also showing Amut that this is a better person to serve under, Suho goes out of his way to protect Amut, even though trying to physically alter the anchors from hitting him was actually hurting Suho. Amut then stands with Suho, who he now calls Young Master. And the next thing we see is these anchors being knocked into the Shadow Dungeon, and also Suho resting with Amut, who's, shielding and cradling him as they're both resting inside of the Shadow Dungeon at this moment. But another thing that pops up is we finally see Wu. Kohagen, it's good to see you. We finally see Wu, who gets a call from Jinno, and Jinno's wondering, I need your help to find my nephew. And then Wu, who still has his memories thanks to Jin, goes wait, nephew, do you mean? And that's the last thing we get. So let's move on to chapter 30, and we have trucks. We have trucks driving. It looks like they're driving on the sand. Yeah, we got trucks driving in the sand, and it's Leo and the Asura Guild. Leo Singh, wake up! And Leo and his crew, they're inside of a truck, and they're just, kind of out of it. They're just kind of sleepy. And then Suho walks up, and Leo's all like, Suho? The dungeon's been cleared. Could I borrow your phone for a minute? The dungeons. And it shows being cleared, and it shows that the entire dungeon, the whole pyramid, just fell in on itself, and it's now lying in ruins, shattered all over the place, just under a mountain of sand. Chapter 30. And now we get a plane flying overhead, and it's Leo Singh of the Ashura Guild, who's personally escorted Suho to the airport. Thank you for saving us from the Pyramid Guild, Suho. We are in your debt. Give me a call after you land in Korea. Of course, and thank you for booking this flight for me. And also for helping me get in touch with my uncle. What? You're in Egypt because of a gate? Thank God you're all right. I was afraid that something terrible had happened to you. Showing that Jinno is he's very protective to be an uncle. Obviously. Uncle Jinno said he reported this incident to an acquaintance at the Hunters Association. I might have to visit the association's headquarters soon. And this person in question, in this panel, is Wu. But his back is turned, very dramatic-like. And then we get back to Leo. But I still don't understand what happened. So that S-rank alligator monster chose to withdraw from the fight? And then the dungeon just collapsed. Yeah, it was weird. We know the reason why Amut isn't there anymore. I guess we were just really lucky. I can't tell him the truth about Amut. But we cut back to the Shadow Dungeon, and we get a clanging sound as it shows chains still on Amut. In the end, I couldn't free you from these chains, and that's probably why you can't leave the Shadow Dungeon. I guess this means I failed to keep my promise. And here's a thought that I had in mind. If the chains always seek out Amut where the anchors are, and they knock the anchors into the Shadow Dungeon, that would mean that these anchors are now in the Shadow Dungeon, and they will always keep Amut in there. So even though he's no longer in the pyramid, he's still not as free as many of us would have hoped, because now he's anchored to the Shadow Dungeon now. In the end, I couldn't free you from those chains, and that's probably why you can't leave the Shadow Dungeon. I guess this means that I failed to keep my promise.
Don't worry about it. You only promised to release me from that tomb after all. I have a lot more space to roam now because the anchors has been scattered far apart. I'm much more comfortable than I was in that cramped tomb.
And it shows that after Suho and Amut were knocking those anchors into the Shadow Dungeon, they went all over the place, a vast distance, which gives Amut plenty of room to maneuver. Still, at least he's not bound to one singular spot. He's got an entire area that he can go through, because it shows some anchors in a forest and shows some anchors near the buildings, so he's got a lot of room to maneuver.
I'm much more comfortable than I was in that cramped tomb.
Amut seems different somehow.
Besides,
and then Amut starts to pick up Suho. And then all of a sudden, he just takes Suho and he leaps into the air, chains following him. Whoa! Young master! And Essel can only look up as Amut jumps to the top of a building with Suho in tow. And then it just shows this big, gigantic view of the Shadow Dungeon and the vastness of it as Amut just looks out and he just takes it all in. Fresh air, you know? Or what amounts for fresh in the Shadow Dungeon.
There's enough nature here to remind me of my old home. So as I promised, I will be your companion, young master.
Amut. And then, you know, Amut is what amounts to smiling. He's just smiling back at Suho. Then we cut back to the present, because this was a flashback. Both the gate in the Shadow Dungeon and the urgent quest must have been leading me to Amut, so that I could recruit him as my companion. See you later, Leo Singh. Sung Suho. A B-rank hunter with summoning, hand-to-hand combat, and transformation skills. I should talk to my guild about recruiting him. Ah, I know someone who had multiple guilds trying to do that for him as well. It has been quite a while since I was last on a plane. Oh, this barrel going, it has been quite a while since I was last on a plane. The gate leading back to Korea has been sealed off, so we had no other choice. I've leveled up 7 times thanks to the fight with the dungeon boss and the urgent quest rewards. Stats, name, Sung Suho, level, 35, job, none, still no job title, fatigue, 0, well, still no job. Titles and jobs are completely different, sorry, I had to correct myself because it's literally underneath it. But he has no job. Well, he has no job role. Someone just rang my doorbell. Sorry about that. All's good. Stats, name, Sung Suho, level, 35, job, none, fatigue, 0, title, Wolf Slayer, HP, 7,000 out of 7,000. MP, 650 out of 650. Strength, 70. Vitality, 55. Agility, 44. Intelligence, 44. Perception, 49 plus 5. Available ability points, 0. And those are his stats right now. Then we get back to Suho. Hey, Beru, what do you think my hunter rank would be with these stats? Around A rank, young master. So I finally reached A rank. Looks like I'm just about ready. Yo, because we still gotta deal with Lee Min Sung. Looks like I'm just about ready to launch my counterattack against Lee Min Sung and the Apostles of Iterim. And, he's just flexing with his hand. And we get a blank panel, and then we get some light shining down, and then we get a cityscape. Dark, and it's just showing the lights coming from the buildings. Almost reminds me of Night City from Cyberpunk to a degree. Inhyup Guild. INHYUP. Inhyup. It's hard to believe that our guild has grown so much. We used to be a guild of C-rank hunters, but now we even own a B-rank gate in Incheon. And we could afford to move to this bigger office. We owe all this to Stardust. Thanks to this, C-rank hunters like us are able to clear B-rank gates. Stop taking drugs. Drugs are not good. Not only has it gotten easier, and they have this high sedity, type mentality to them. Not only has it gotten easier to find on the black market, it's gotten cheaper too. Whoever invented this has my gratitude. Is it really that great? I'm still not completely sold on it. You're smart. This dude is smart. Shush! You've always been a B rank, so you'll never understand how we feel. Kim Sung-soo, B rank hunter. I heard that the Hunters Association has been trying to come up with measures to forbid the use of Stardust. What? Why? It doesn't even have any major side effects. Isn't it a good thing that hunters can use this to clear more gates? Isn't this a good thing that we're using drugs to get past things that we would normally not be able to get past? Isn't it good that we're using steroids to boost up our muscles so we can take part in competitions, but it leaves major side effects for those who continue to use it? And muscles like that don't last forever? And it can lead to debilitating heart problems? It doesn't even have any major side effects. That's how it all starts. And then later there's running and screaming and possibly dying. Isn't it a good thing that hunters can use this to clear more gates? The association never does anything for low-rank hunters like us. Screw them! And then someone is walking into the room. Hey, don't take it out on me. And the dude is drinking, but we get, it's the Apostle. It's the Apostle kid. And he starts walking into the... I don't even need to see his face. I could just tell it's him from his stature, his position, his size, and how there's some really big dudes behind him. Hey, don't take it out on me. And this is Kim saying it. But everyone else is looking in the opposite direction while he's drinking. And then he just goes, huh? And yeah, wow. Okay, so the people he has under his control... It is that same woman that was carrying him way back from Brooky's memories. And this dude who's so big, he literally has to bend down in order to walk through the doorway. Is this the Inhyup Guild? Inhyup Guild? Are you the guild that has ownership of the gate that just appeared in Incheon? And it's the Apostle Kid. And he's wearing a white suit, gray shirt, white tie. And he has and his shoulders have black and gold adornments on the side. Are you the guild that has ownership of the gate that just appeared in Incheon? Who's this kid? Yeah, we're the Inhyup Guild. What can we do for you? I want that gate. Huh? I said, I want that gate. And then all of a sudden, everyone in the room just immediately gets mind controlled. Everyone just falls under this kid's control immediately.
Of course, great apostle. Anything you want.
And mind you, Kim is the only one who has not been controlled. Oh, wait. Are those who use Stardust more liable to be mind controlled by this dude? Because they took it, but Kim was the only one who was unsure about it. Are those who get... Oh, don't confirm or deny. Guys, is this some sort of prank? What are you guys doing all of a sudden?
Oh, there's a hunter here who hasn't been taking Stardust. All the better.
Oh, this confirms it. This confirms it. If you take Stardust, you can be mind controlled by this guy. You can be taking Stardust makes you susceptible to this apostle's mind control. What are you guys doing all of a sudden?
Oh, there's a hunter here who hasn't been taking Stardust. All the better. I forbid you all from seeing or hearing anything that's about to happen from now on.
And all those who are under this apostle's control, they close their eyes and they put their hands over their ears. Why are you guys letting this kid boss you around?
I wanted to try talking with a human that wasn't him. Our Creator has instructed us to seize control of this masterless world in His name. And that is why I have come to this planet.
And it shows a throne of I want to say an absolute being. It shows because the same type of throne that the absolute being that Ashbourne followed. It shows one that is just completely coated in blood.
Our Creator has instructed us to seize control of this masterless world in His name. And that is why I have come to this planet.
What the heck are you talking about?
But there are some things...
What the heck are you talking about?
But there are some things I've gotten curious about during my time here. Creations should exist to fulfill the will of their Creator.
And the apostle starts reaching for the sword of one person he already has under his control.
But you humans seem to exist to fulfill your own goals. How do you plan to fulfill the wishes of your Creator?
Creator? I don't give a dart about that kind of crap. And he takes out his sword, and he prepares to fight this apostle. Return my friends back to the way they were! Are you part of some cult? I know you're just a kid, but I won't go easy on you if you keep messing with me like this! And then the kid apostle takes the dagger out of this other person's pocket who he's mind controlling.
A cult?
And then all of a sudden, Kim gets shivers down his spine.
How dare you insult our Creator?
And this apostle kid takes out this dagger and he starts running his finger across it and it just starts sparking.
Amplify.
And then Kim goes in to swing on this kid. Ah! And then this apostle kid, after apparently amplifying this dagger, slashes Kim straight down his chest. Just in one swift stroke. And the force was so hard that when his arm swung back, it cut through the table that this kid apostle was sitting on. So he went one singular swing motion and it just cut straight through the table behind him. And it also cuts through the floor behind this table. going right between those two mind-controlled individuals that were walking with him, the big dude and the lady with the long hair, with the long blonde hair. And hold on, let me see this. I think he broke his sword. In this same motion, he broke Kim's sword, and the sharp end of the blade goes flying and flies into the head of another person that was already being mind controlled by this kid apostle. It just get collateral damage. It just goes flying in the air, just embeds itself in the head of another person. And the apostle kid is just standing there. As we see from the view of Kim's gaping wound to the face of this kid with a glare in his eye, visually upset that Kim insulted him, eyes glowing with fervorous anger. And he cut him in two. I thought he just slashed him across the chest. His whole body is just split down the middle in half. He cut this dude in half, straight down. He just cut him straight down the middle in half. And the whole table is just broken. And dude just drops the blade next to him. Dude didn't even get to finish his soda. His friend who was mind controlled got killed in that because collateral damage. I allow all of you to see and hear again. Clean up the mess you see before you. And he leaves. And we have him and the lady and the big dude walking out of the room after having destroyed it. And then we got some other people who weren't mind controlled going, "What's all the commotion? Did some hunter go on a rampage?" Forget everything you saw here. And clearly, because these hunters were taking Stardust, they immediately get mind-controlled as well, as this kid apostle just walks past them. What is this free will? All creations exist solely to fulfill the needs and wants of their creator. And then it just shows like this white void vortex, I guess facilitating something. But the creations of this universe killed their own creator by their own free will. And what? Whoa. And when we get to the big guy, we get to another location, and we have this giant Minotaur monster, and we have this kid apostle and all the people that he's controlling. They all brought down this big Minotaur, and he's just standing there in front of his body. Monsters, or rather, interdimensional refugees who roam aimlessly between dimensions. It must be painful to lose a place to call home and wander forever. I'll give you an opportunity to lash out at that pain. And this kid apostle appears to be doing the same thing he did to Brokey, because he has that same shard. Is he going to shove it in this thing's eye as well, or possibly in its face? Feel free to go wild here. And it's right in the forehead. He just stabs this gemstone right into this Minotaur's forehead. I should research this world a bit more. This is all to fulfill the will of our creator. To be continued. Destruct, good to see you. Julian, good to see you as well. So, Suho is making his way back to Korea after helping out Leo Sing. That's good. And all because of Jino getting in contact with Woo, he's going to be able to make his way back to Korea without a problem. And at some point, he's going to have to talk to Woo. Baru estimates that Jino's strength is comparable to an A rank right now, which means that Jino is ready to start his counterattack against Lee Min Sung. That's one thing going on. We get to the Inhyup Guild, and we find out that everyone except for one dude has apparently been taking Stardust, and they used to be basically this guild of C rankers, but now they have, since they take Stardust, they can now be considered B rankers, and they can do much better dungeons. They can take on much better dungeons, and they have a much better building because of that. Kid Apostle shows up, demands the dungeon that they currently have. Dudes, and mind you, only one person, Kim Lee, I get his first name, but I immediately forget his name. Hold on. Lee Sung-soo. Kim Sung-soo. I said Lee Sung-soo. Kim Sung-soo is a B rank. He's the only B rank hunter in the Inyup guild, while everyone else is pretty much below that. Or at least he's one of the B rank hunters in this guild. And he's the only one who's been like kind of adverse to Stardust as a whole. Smart. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad, okay? Yes, they are. They're very bad. Here it's even worse, because now we know that if you take Stardust, you can be susceptible to mind control from this Kid Apostle who is here from Iterum. You basically just fall under his control. And he basically says, like, one who hasn't taken Stardust, it would seem. So, dude rolls in. Little kid rolls in. He's got that same woman that was holding him when he was a baby at the time, and he quickly grew up into a kid, and his other piece is still heading to the Earth. So, this is just his current kid state right now, so we're dealing with that, which is already a scary thought, because what he does in this chapter shows that even at this size, he's incredibly strong. So I shudder to think about when that final piece rolls in and he gets back to his original size, just how strong he's going to be. Can't wait to see where the story goes for that. But Kim says, like, who's this kid? What do you want? I want your dungeon. I don't know who you think you are, but no. So then dude takes control of every person who took Stardust in this guild. Mind you, all the other guild members saw like, it's fine. Stardust doesn't really have any side effects. So what if the Hunters Association wants to try and forbid its use? I mean, it's helping us. It's a good thing. They should be happy that we're capable of taking on more dungeons. Not realizing that it's just an age-old addict of, drugs are bad! They are bad! There's always a catch. Don't take them. Just don't. So, yo, what's going on, Destruct? I saw your earlier message earlier on. But dude says no, and then the Apostle takes control of every single hunter in the room who took Stardust, and they just immediately follow his commands. Then he says, I want you all to close your ears and close your eyes to what's about to happen. And then he starts musing about, like, creations only exist to serve the purpose of their creators. And Kim, he doesn't want to hear any of this existential stuff or anything like that. So he's all like, what are you even talking about? Give me back my guildmates. And then little kid takes a knife. And when Kim says, what are you? What is this? Are you some kind of cult? When Kid Apostle, we're gonna call him Kid Apostle. I was thinking of saying Kid Icarus, but this ain't the same thing. When Kid Apostle hears all like, did you just compare us to a cult? How dare you insult our creator? Takes a dagger, amplifies it, and cuts the dude in half straight down. Just killing him instantly with a force that sends a shockwave going straight through the room, destroying the floor and the ceiling, and on the backward swing from that same motion, destroying the table that Kid Apostle was sitting on. Not only that, but when he cut through Kim's weapon, the jagged edge of that broken weapon went sailing behind him, Kid Apostle, and lodged into the skull of another Inyup guild member. Killing that guild member instantly. Have you heard there's 319 chapters, I think, in Ragnarok till in Ragnarok till now, and writer said that this was just the epilogue of solo leveling after 319. The real story of Ragnarok begins. I would argue that our supreme being killed by the rulers is a reason we didn't grow with his influence. That same supreme being that was killed by the rulers that led Ashbourne down the path that he went down. They're trying to return the world to being, having someone sitting in that place, because apparently these creations, these humans, they're moving of their own free will. I don't understand why they're moving with their own free will when they should be living for their creator, but our master is gone and we shall return to where it is. That information is to be confirmed about what Destruct said. Oh, okay, so that kind of felt that as well, because I'm like, I don't know, I haven't heard anything, so it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. We'll see. But now we have the apostles, where they seek to return the world to being guided by a creator again. I don't know how they're going to do this, or how they're going to go about doing this. But it just shows you, matter of fact, let me come back up here. Let me just go back up here. What is this free will? Hold on, let me go back up to when he was talking about when the creator died, and we saw this image of the seat of the creator back then. There it is. Our creator has instructed us to seize control of this masterless world in his name, and that is why I have come to this planet. So if this is supposed to be the same the same absolute being that the other rulers killed, that led Ashbourne to become what he was, makes you wonder about, it makes you wonder about the previous world that we had before Jin went and reset everything and then went down the path of fighting all these other absolute beings on his own. It makes you think about it. And kid was saying, like, creation should exist to fulfill the will of their creator, but you humans seem to exist to fulfill your own goals. How do you plan to fulfill the wishes of your creator? And when dude calls them a cult, kid gets insulted and goes, how dare you insult our creator? Amplify, kills the dude instantly, and then leaves. And then he's just musing to himself, what is this free will? All creations exist solely to fulfill the needs and wants of their creator. But the creations of this universe killed their own creator by their own will. Let's see. Saw a lot of reels where people are talking about it. It would be crazy if that's the case. We will have a lot of anime content for the next 10 years or so. No, the apostles come from it. Yeah, here's the thing, Julian. I was about to say this. I was about to correct myself, because you sound like the beings of this universe, meaning that I'm correcting myself here. It is not the same rulers that served with the absolute being that caused Ashbourne to become what he was. These absolute beings are from different universes, and the ones that are coming here are from different universes, questioning why there isn't an absolute being governing this universe. So they're here to fulfill that absolute being's wish of, returning this masterless world to the way it was before. Remember, they were introducing Ragnarok's first chapters. I know. That's why I was correcting myself. Because he says that right here. But the creations of this universe killed their own creator by their own free will. Mind you, I had to reread through that again, just to, remind myself that these Iterim and everyone associated with them, they're not from the same universe that Jin has basically soloed, taken out all the monarchs and reset it so this could be a better world. These are ones who are sent by other absolute beings who are wondering, okay, we're missing someone from our ranks. What's going on in that universe where's Paul? What happened to Paul? Angie, go find out what happened in the universe that Paul was governing. Paul's dead! What do you mean Paul's dead? We left him over there. He said he was fine. And now they go over there and they're wondering, his own creations killed him? No, 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 no. We need to find out what's going on there, and we need to see if we need to wipe the slate clean. How could you do this to Paul? So now we got all the other absolute beings making their way, trying to make their way to this universe to figure out just what in the world happened to Paul and what's going on, and sending their agents, these members of Iterim, to try and find out what happened and to put things back to the way they were before. So that's basically what's going on. I really need to catch up with Ragnarok. It seems like a good sequel to a goated series, unlike some other Boruto. No, we're not talking about Boruto. Also, the Apostles believes the existence of the Supreme Being is common knowledge when it's the opposite, so his question can't be answered by the humans. Exactly. The people of this world don't even know that rulers exist, that monarchs exist, that the absolute being exists. All of these beings of abstract power and omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent power, they don't even know that these people exist. The only people who do know it are those who exist outside of the norm, such as monarchs, or people who are touched by rulers, or people like Jin. Talking so out of context. Sorry, I haven't caught up with Ragnarok yet. D-Struck, this is we are 30 chapters into Ragnarok. This is spoilers. I don't want you to be spoiled if you haven't caught up yet. You know how we do things here. I don't want you to be spoiled too much. But going back to it, and I gotta wrap this up because it's time for a new episode of Solo Leveling. None of these regular humans know anything about rulers or monarchs or anyone with insurmountable power. The only people who know are people like Jin, those who still have their memories from the previous world and have that information. Those are the only people who still know. And possibly Lady Selner in this universe as well. Possibly. But even if no human will be able to answer that question because no human knows that these beings exist whatsoever. Interdimensional travel, apostles from another universe, beings from other universes that govern their own soul universes. Humans don't know anything about this. The most they know is just that there's dungeons, there's monsters in them. That's it. They don't know anything else. The concept of someone constantly getting stronger and leveling up, that's a concept that they would probably only see in a video game. So even if dude actually got an answer, it wouldn't be the one he was looking for, simply because humans just don't know. And the thing about these humans in this particular universe, which makes you wonder if this is how they don't understand. Dude does not understand what free will is. Which makes me imagine that all the other universes that the absolute beings who are trying to make their way to this one are governing over, apparently there is no free will. Why be curious about free will? This must mean that this is the first universe where he's seen someone have the will to make their own decisions and not have it made for them. Or just their own decisions just made to fulfill, the will of their creator. This is the first universe dude has come across where it's all like, what is this free will? And why do these humans exercise it so oftenly? This must be new to him. So now he's trying to understand what free will is, which brings a whole bunch of other things to mind about where his mindset is going to be in the future, but we'll worry about that later. All that matters now is, 1, Suho feels like he's ready to take on Lee Min-sung. 2, the Apostle is making moves as well in order to try and turn this into a world where it will fulfill the needs of its creator. And since there isn't a ruler here, there isn't an absolute being here anymore. It's anyone's guess who are they going to have fill in that role or try and turn this entire universe into in the hopes that it can return to the way the other universes are. Mind you, we currently don't know what the other universes are like in comparison to this main one here. But I don't think things are going to bode well for the planet if a decision is made where a slate needs to be wiped clean. But I'm just speaking hypothetically and just making off the hand theories here. We'll have to wait until the next chapter to see exactly where we go from here. Are we going to continue with more about this apostle? Or are we going to continue more with Suho as he gets back to Korea? A lot of things to talk about here. Also, Amut having plenty of space to roam around wherever he wants to, and it reminds him of his old home. Yeah, that was a wholesome moment right there. But overall, I enjoyed today's chapter of solo leveling, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Time to get started on the solo leveling episodes. I'm done here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being patient with me whenever I read these chapters, and I know there are people who have read the light novel. I want to say thank you for not spoiling stuff or even confirming or denying anything that I make assumptions on, because you know how we do with spoilers here. Thank you for your patience, and I thank you for your support as well. You have been a wonderful audience, and thank you for helping this channel get as big as it has, because it's only gonna get bigger. Done for today. All I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!